I realized that who you date is just a representation of how you feel about yourself. And I was searching for myself through everyone else but me. Like, I wanted someone to take the time to get to know me and to get to know the ins and outs of Michelle, but Michelle wouldn't take the time to get to know who she was as a growing young woman. So how can I require something of someone else that I wasn't even willing to do? I wanted him to love me unconditionally, but I didn't really love myself unconditionally. And I thought that I was somebody through my strength, because there was a time growing up I was extremely soft and I was very compassionate, and I would cry, and I was just very emotional. And I cut that off. The more bad relationships that I encountered and that I had, and the more that guys lied and they cheated, I began to have a hard heart and build this wall, and I felt like, all men cheat and all men are dogs, and I have to play this game if I ever want to survive in life, or if I ever want to have a relationship. I've got to play the game too. So if you make me mad, I'm not going to talk to you. I'll just go talk to somebody else, and I'll ignore your text messages, and I'll make you work for X, Y, and Z, or whatever the case may be. And it just became this big game. That's so petty, and that's the mentality that I had, and it made me angry, it made me selfish, it made me self-centered. It just made me into someone that I did not like. And I was a nice person, and I know I had a good heart, but life was turning me into this mean, hard girl, and this angry girl. Like, I felt like I had like the angry black woman syndrome. Like, I was loud, and I had no respect for men, and I was just out to prove I am strong, and you will not break me down. No matter what you do to me, no matter what you say to me, I will be okay. And that was the mentality that I had, and this is how I went through life. And through every failed relationship, I gained some type of scar. Whether it was learning not to trust men, learning to think that all of them are no good and they're all dogs. Like, it just gave me this bad taste in my mouth. And one thing that I've learned is that when you get into different relationships with people, you're leaving a piece of yourself with them, and they're leaving a piece of themselves with you. And like I said, if I could just go back and do it over again, I surely would. But now I have plenty of stories to tell. So I think that the turning point in my life was when I met this guy, and I'll never forget it, because this is really where I feel like things started to change for me. I met him in the club. I had just turned 18, and I was in the club frequently because I've been waiting years to finally go and drop it like it's hot. I was living with my parents at the time, and my parents were like, no, you are not going to the club. But somehow, some way, I found myself in clubs. And then I actually hated the club, because it was just like, I would get my hair done, and then I would just sweat it out. And I'm just like, I have wasted so much money on my hair, and I come out looking like a Cabbage Patch Kid. Like, I'm like, this can't be good. This is not life. But hey, when you're 18 and don't really have any responsibilities, you can blow money on hair, whatever. Not today. Long story short, you could just tell that he just had bad boy, do not mess with me written all over him. But sometimes the thing that we don't need is what draws us in the closest, and it drew me in. I was just like, I can control this. I've been in this situation before. I've been hurt before. I've had bad boys before. Because what girl likes a good guy? A foolish girl.